first wave was in early 2020. The second wave, which was larger than the first wave, was at the end of 2020, coinciding with the Christmas and New Year festivities. Our third wave was in June, July, August of this year. Not as tall, but just as devastating. And that coincided with the summer vacation and the movement of a lot of children back from schools in Europe and America to Lagos. So as you can see from this graph, we have now tailed out of the third wave, and we now put our focus back onto the global pattern of COVID-19. And we're studying the horizon very carefully, especially the countries that we do business with, the countries that we frequent. And we are looking at fourth and fifth waves arising around the world. And right now, you can see that there is a huge problem in Europe, Eastern Europe, and Russia. Many countries now going into their fourth or fifth waves. Germany, Austria, Netherlands, the Eastern European countries, and Russia. We've done our modeling in Lagos and in Nigeria, and we realize what are the triggers to our waves. And in so doing, we've been able to try and put together some idea of a strategy. So if you look at this graph, you will see again our three waves have been depicted clearly there, and the blue line indicates where we are at this point in time. And we are, if we go by the way things have happened in the past, we are expecting some activity around the Christmas and New Year festivities, because that is when a large number of Nigerians living in the diaspora will be returning home to join their families for the festive period. Another problem we have in Nigeria and Lagos is that our rates of vaccinations have been quite low. We're just about under 3%, whereas our targets should be in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Many countries around the world have exceeded the 50% vaccination of the eligible populations. The Lagos State strategy against the fourth wave, or what we call the fourth wave mitigation strategy, is based on 4 pillars. The first pillar there is the vaccination strategy, and we're currently hovering just under 2%, but Mr. Governor has promised since last August that within a period of 1 year, we would have vaccinated up to 30% of Lagosians, which will give us some degree of protection against subsequent waves. The next strategy is to keep our testing rates high and in fact increase them. So we are making sure that we are available for testing both in the public and the private sector to all Lagosians. The third strategy is to be very strict about the arrival of passengers into Lagos, and that all passengers arriving will adhere to the guidelines that have been set forth by the Presidential Steering Committee in Abuja, the task force that evolved into the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 response. And the fourth pillar is essentially our management through the Safety Commission, through the Ministry of Health, and through the Ministry of Justice, is to manage our social gatherings and to make sure that we comply with the standard regulations of social distancing, personal hygiene, respiratory hygiene, and adequate ventilation in gathering spaces.